Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm here with another video from QGIS tutorial. Today I'm gonna do a supervised land use land cover classification based on Sentinel-2 data. Compared to previous tutorials that have been done on the QGIS environment, this one is a little different since I'm gonna work on the latest version of QGIS and we have some change in SCP extension in this environment. Okay, let's start. As I said before, I'm gonna use Sentinel-2 data for supervised land use land cover classification. First, I'm gonna start download the Sentinel-2 data from Copernicus.eu. We can do this. If you have already an account, you can log in. In the next step from search, I'm gonna define a study area. From here, create an area of interest. I have this option. Okay, very good. In the next step, from search and search criteria, I select Sentinel-2 and level A. Since some atmospheric correction has been done on this data, I'm gonna choose this. In the next step, I will define my time period. For example, 1st of June, July, sorry. Okay, very good. By the time clicking on search, it's going to provide me a list of available data. Okay, very good. You can check the cloud cover, and based on that, you can choose which one is appropriate for you. And so from here, I have the product information. For example, I'm going to choose this one. By clicking on download, it's going to give me this image. Okay, it's going to finish. By the time it's finished, it's going to ask us, where do you want to save this data? I define an output. Inside that, I will provide Sentinel-2A save. I can go to my folder and extract, since it's a zip file. Okay, now I'm going to my QGIS environment to add all the required bonds for my supervised classification. From open data source, the format of my data, it's not raster, but I'm going to use raster. My folder, from this folder, image, and we have 3 categories. I'm gonna use bands 2, 3, 4, 8, 11, and 12. From here, I choose band 2, 3, 4, 8, and open them. And also, I'm gonna back again From here, I'm gonna choose band 11 and also 12. Okay, very good. Here, as you can see, the spatial resolution is 20 meters, also 10 meters. We have 6 bands, different bands. Right now, I'm gonna start to work with SCP plugin for supervised land use land cover classification. For the first time, in some versions or in some software, it's not available. So you need to use plugins, manage and install plugins. From search, you have to look for semi-automatic classification plugin. The time that you find this one, here you will have a, let's say, install plugin. By clicking on install, you can easily install this plugin on your QGIS environment. Since we have this one, we don't need to do this. Right now, I'm gonna go further and give you some information regarding these panels and also tabs. From here, we have band sets, we have download products, we have basic tools, preprocessing, band processing, post-processing, and so on. Here also we have an options for collecting training data, and here's some options for some reflectance analysis. Okay, let's start from band set that I will provide some information regarding these panels one by one. From band set, I'm gonna create a band set. Since I have 6 bands here, I need to put them in one set. From here, we have these options. By clicking on add bands, as you can see, all of them are listed here. Just I need to select all of them, and that's it. All of them have been added here. Also, I have these options that I can open a file. It's gonna directly guide me to the folder that I have these data. You can use both of them. Which one is preferable for you, you can choose. Here we can sort them and so move the bands if you are interested, of course. Here we have a sort options that we can sort our bands. We can delete these the bands that we are not interested. Also we can reset the panel, or we can import bands from text file, or we can save export bands to a text file. Depends on your preference, you can choose one of them. Here we have a wavelength. We have different options. We have optical dataset, satellite dataset from high resolution to so on. Depends on your sensor, you can choose one of them. For example, I will choose Sentinel-2 since I'm using this sensor, and also the wavelength unit that you can choose, and so the date. Okay, as I said before, I'm going to use this one. In the next step, I'm going to processing. Since the study area I have, it's much more large, I need to clip an study area. From clip raster bands from preprocessing tab, I have one input band set that I created before. Right now, I can use coordinate these options here in order to create ROI. Then I can clip that, or I can use a vector for clipping. That this option is available for you here. For now, I'm going to use this one. And back to my study area. I try to select an area that covers most of the land use land covers. For example, I'm going to choose this one. Okay. Just by putting your cursor in a specific place and just drag. Then I'm gonna back to my options. As you can see, all the coordinate system have been imported here. Right now, I just need to click on run. And define an output. For example, I'm giving a name as clip. And select folder. Okay, it's down. Right now I can back to my screen. As you can see, I have clipped bands here. We have this extension. Right now I don't need the others. I can select and remove them. Very good. In the next step, I'm going to create a virtual visualization of these bands. Again, I will back to band set. Since I have removed all the band set, all the bands that I had before, I don't need this one, then I need to reset again my table. Again, I will go to the add bands and I will add new clipped bands. Okay, very good. Right now I will go further by defining my wavelengths. Sentinel-2, and we can put it 1 to 6, or we can increase. Here I have to activate this one, create virtual raster of band sets. By clicking on run, it's gonna ask me folder, select. Here I will give it a name, band set, and select this one. It's finished. Right now, from RGB, I can give it a color, and right now I will have my virtual band set. I can change its position, deactivate this one, and we have a true color of my band set for my clipped area. Right now everything is ready. Here we have different options for changing the visualization, or I can use this one, for example, by right clicking from properties, and from multi-band colors I can change here the bands. For example, for red band, if I want to have a false composite color, I can put it on band 8, click on apply, and it's gonna be false composite color. Depends on your preferences, you can do this. And also I have prepared prepared a list of very good combination of bands that we will use them for better classification of our land use and land cover. Okay, let's back to my QGIS environment. As I said before, I'm gonna create some training data. For training data, I will come to training input. In order to do some collection, I need to create a new training input from here. By clicking on that, I can define a folder, give it a name, training, and we can give it another name, save it. As you can see, the folder and also its direction has been added here. Or if you have data that you provided or you prepared before, you can open your training input so easily. Since I don't have any training data, I created, and here we have different options that I will explain a little about them. For example, this is a macro class ID. Also, this is a class ID. Also, macro class name, class name. For example, macro class ID, it's gonna be, for example, here, vegetation. And class name, it's gonna be, for example, garden for the first time. If I want to use, for example, classifying cultivated lands, I can add here cultivated land without changing macro class ID or macro class name. Here we have another options. The time you added your classes, it's gonna activate all these options that I will explain after creating this class. Okay, very good. I started to define a class and also macro class. Right now I will back to my screen. Here we have two options for creating ROI. One of them is related to polygon, and also the other one is related to activate ROI pointer. Depends on you. You can choose one of them. For example, I'm gonna start with create ROI using polygon. By clicking on that, I will back to my study area. As I said before, I'm gonna collect some data for garden. Let's back to my table in order to see which composite RGB it's gonna be useful for identifying garden. As you can see here, from here, I have this combination 1182, or I can use natural color, false color, color infrared. Also, I find the website that it's explaining much more regarding this combination of bands, that it's gonna provide us a good understand how to collect valuable data for our training data. For example, in agriculture, as you can see from the explanation, it's mostly used to monitor the health of crops, and we can have a lot of information for this one. For example, dense vegetation that appears as a dark green. Okay, I'm gonna apply this one. Over here we have our vegetation index. We can also apply them. However, I'm gonna use agriculture band 1182. For the first time, band 1182. We can let's say apply all of them to choose which one is much more appropriate, or we can use properties again. As I said before, bands 11, this one change the hour category. This one is band 2, 3, 4, 8, 11, and 12. For red one, I choose this one. Back green 8, band 8, and here we have band 2. This one. Very good. Right now we can see the difference. Dark green, it's gonna give us the vegetation with highest density. That could be a good sign of finding gardens. As I said before, I use polygon. Back to my study area. Click the area that you think they are garden. In the meantime, keep control on your keyboard and right click. It's gonna select your targeted point again. In the process of collecting training data, you need to hold control on your keyboard. Okay. Try to do this in all parts of your study area. By zooming in and out, you can do it appropriately. Okay, for this class, we don't have any problem right now. In order to save this class, I will back to my panel. From here, we can save it. Just click on that. It's down. As you can see, class ID, it's gonna change automatically because it's gonna go to the next step, class 2. From vegetation, I'm gonna select cultivated lands. Again, I will back to my study area. These are considered as a cultivated lands. As I said before, you need to hold control in the whole process of collecting data. Okay, for this class also it's okay. Right now I need to save it again. Very good. From here we can change the color of them just by clicking on them, double click. For the first time I need to change the macro class. I'm gonna give it a color like this. You can choose which one is appropriate for you. I'm choosing this. Okay, very good. Regarding the vegetation, we don't have anything remaining. However, I can go to the next step by selecting, by defining a new macro class. 2, it's gonna be here. The time you want to change the macro class, you need to change the ID and also its name. For example, I'm gonna choose water. We have here a dam, and it's gonna be dam, the name. I will back to my screen from creating polygon. I can define my training points, or training samples. Okay, this is for dam. Save the class. As you can see here, I have a river. For this one, I changed the class name and also the ID. It's gonna change automatically. Go back here to the environment from creating ROI, collecting some samples for river. Since water bodies are obvious, I don't need to change the combination of bands. However, if you feel that it's not obvious for you, you can choose another band combination for better visualization, of course. Okay, this is for river. Right now I can save it again. Again, I will change the color for water as a micro class. This color is good. For dam, I will choose this one. for river, and so this one is good. Very good. Right now I need to classify my built-up areas. Again, I will change the macro class ID because I'm gonna change to another macro class. It's gonna be built up area. For the first one, I'm gonna classify buildings back to the environment from creating sample, holding control. I can define it easily. Also, our study area is a little big. Right now I can save again my class. Everything is good. Right now I will go to my table to see which one is better, as I said before. Also, this combination is good for detecting urban areas. For water and also land, it's good. Let's try this one in order to have much more visualization for selecting some training data for land. 8, 11, 4. From here, 8. This is 8, 11, and 4. Okay, very good. Right now I can select the area as land. Again, I will change the macro class ID. This one is 4. It's gonna be lands. For the class name, I'm gonna put it as a barren lands. Back to my study area, use RI and select. The areas with little green you can see as a barren land. These, it's gonna be cultivated, uncultivated lands. They are not cultivated yet. Okay, very good. This class also has been down, collecting data. In the next class, I'm gonna choose uncultivated from right back. Collect my data. By collecting more data, it's going to give you an appropriate and also precise classification. Again, it's down for this one too. Here also I can change the color. Again, as I said before, for built-up area, this one is good. For building, I'm gonna give it a color like this. For lands, for barren land, orange, and uncultivated land, or I can change to yellow. Very good. I think we don't have any remained class. Right now it's okay. If you want, you can add further class if you are interested, of course. Here you can use this table for further visualization of your data if you are interested. Okay, right now I will explain a little regarding this panel we have here. For example, this one is highlighted spectral signature. By choosing one of them, it's going to give you a spectral analysis of that one, or you can choose here this one, as you can see here. For vegetation, for garden, it's available. As you can see, it's wavelength. You can do this for all your class you are interested. You can import the spectral signature, or you can export the estimated spectral signature here. You can remove the class if you are interested, if you don't like this. Okay, until now it's okay. I can go further right now and do a preview classification. For example, for better understanding of your result, you can zoom in, and by activating this function and click on the study area, it's going to give you a preview of the classification. This will help you to understand the accuracy of your classification. Of course, this is the classification result. Right now, I'm going to back to my panel in order to classify all the land use, land cover classes in one time. Again, I will back here from band processing, from classification. As you can see here we have different options: maximum likelihood, support vector machine, spectral angle mapping, random forest. These options, I think machine learning algorithms were not available in the previous version of QGIS. However, it's available in this one. You can choose which one is interested you. You can, let's say, define some further options. For now, I'm going to use maximum likelihood, and it's asking me about using tree. This is very important. It's asking you, it wants to use microclass ID or your preferred class ID. I prefer class ID, but they are same. But class ID is good, since inside the macro class we have different class also. It's better to use this one. Okay, by clicking on run and defining an output folder, inside the classification, I will set LULC. By clicking on save, it's gonna take a while in order to create a supervised land use, land cover classification. Okay. This is the classification results. As you can see, it's in a good conditions from my point of view, since it's classified my class in appropriate way. And but if you are interested in more accurate classification, you need to pay much more attention in collecting much more data, training data, and also try to do it precisely. As I mentioned before, use band combinations that it's going to help you to do it in a better way. Okay, very good. I hope the content of this video will be useful for you. If you like these types of video, please like the video and also subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much for your attention.